It has been approximately 84 years since I've posted a COD video, and we have Season 5 Reloaded to thank for giving me some actual content to discuss. Well, that's kind of a lie. It's not like there hasn't been anything to talk about with the Intel since I dipped off the face of the earth and had technical problems and a job that delayed this video even further, but there was a period of time where the Intel seemed a bit random. Not much to put together on the character analysis front. But that's all changed now, more specifically due to the Maxis and Requiem audio intel this time. And also, if I sound weird, it's because I've actually injured my voice, and that's just the way it's going to be for a while. Now, I think a short recap might be in order to better establish what's going on currently. For one, malware happened, where it was shown that Maxis' powers could be quite useful for the general goals of Requiem, but more specifically the Director. Because of this, he has put her in isolation in the secret of Block 8, and we can only imagine all of the good that will come out of this. But of course, we need not imagine this, as we have a bunch of audio logs to really paint a picture of what is transpiring between those two right now. The first thing I would like to point out about the audio this time is that there's a disturbing dissonance between the Requiem audio logs and the Maxis ones. Everyone in the audio logs is cavalier about Maxis' isolation, and it's because it seems they genuinely think she's doing okay. Not a single character is really questioning anything about it either. Weaver just asks the strike team that she be assisted if she's ever released back into the field, and Gray is, being gay. Okay, no, she really does have an admiration for Samantha, and cares for her well-being a lot, even after everything between them. She's even the one taking care of her dog in the meantime, which I must admit is very cute. And it seems she's been reflecting on her quite a bit during this time. There could be a multitude of reasons for why they're not even a tiny bit concerned, ranging from trust in the Director to simply faith in Maxis being able to take care of herself. She has certainly established that much, so perhaps they think their concern is not needed from that alone. They care for her deeply, but her predicament is necessary, right? This hopefulness that Weaver and Gray exude could not be farther from the reality of Samantha's situation. There's a specific place I want to start with this because I only realized the implication of the nicer sounding Maxis radios after hearing all of the intel. The audio logs consist of the Director emotionally abusing Maxis pretty heavily. A recurring theme with the audio logs is the Director is set on beating her down to the point of thinking herself as being a terrible burden and problem. This is where the radios tie in. Because the radios seem, when you listen to the first one, like they're going to be kind of nice. Maxis seems remorseful about her actions of deceiving everyone during Main Quest 1, seems to have figured out what's going on with her and herself and her abilities, but none of it is nice in reality. I want to apologize for my actions, yet the Director thought it would be appropriate for me to reach out to you directly. This line just exuded the energy of being a cry for help, which is when I realized what is actually going on here. The 3 situations that we know of in the audio logs that she's been placed in are extremely distressing, and she's been in this place for at least 62 days, so that's a lot to think about. I can only imagine what else has occurred during this time. There's one situation in particular that caught my attention, and it's because I think there's something else going on with it. It's the one where the Director informs Samantha that Gray will be killed if she doesn't kill a captured Omega agent. I am of the opinion that this situation was not as dire as it seemed, and it was just the Director gaslighting her. Gray has hardly been an expendable asset for many months in lore now, and the way he talked about the supposed person in the room was suspicious. Having to ask someone if they can see something and then describing it is really, really weird and leading. Samantha is panicked, so of course she's going to see what the Director says is happening, but that doesn't mean that there was any danger at all. I think this gives us a pretty good idea of the Director's personality and his willingness to get what he wants at any cost, whatever this want may be. But what does this mean for Samantha? It seems she's currently stuck in the mindset of truly believing herself to be some horrid thing, not deserving of anything or anyone, and is just doing what he says to perhaps avoid him inflicting something else terrible upon her, when he's just going to continue doing these things. I hated him for what he did to me, but he was right. This line is sickening. Even if the director has a point for doing what he's doing, his methods are certainly overkill at best. Her power has always derived from her anger, yes, but she's still a person. And let us not forget that she was once able to both have her powers and maintain her personhood. I am of the belief that this aspect of her has not changed within herself, but has just been beaten out of her for the time being. Now, this is where I'm having a bit of a conflict with this whole idea. And this is something I kind of want to hold my tongue on until Forsaken comes out, but I also feel like it's important to bring up. Due to the sheer volume of lore that this last map has to cover, I'm kind of worried that this whole abuse to strength pipeline the story has going on with her is going to end up turning into some, glorified girl boss shit. This is a plotline with her that did occur within Ether to a more speculative degree, so that itself I take no issue with, but there's something about the way that it's being executed right now that doesn't really feel right to me. Beforehand, the speculative arc that you could derive from Samantha's existence as a whole, be it audio or map appearances, is one of strength being derived from her pain and trauma, which is later overcome into a powerful sort of acceptance of herself. However, the arc Cold War depicts is that of her strength being derived exclusively from her pain worsening, until she is at the point where she is now, beaten down into submission and acceptance of her abilities. It's not an acceptance that has come from herself, it's one that has been dragged out of her through abuse. And the fact she's even conveying the message that the director's actions are justified because she now knows who she is concerning. This just screams bad situation, yet I worry that due to lack of time and other issues that need addressing this map, it may turn into a positive in spite of moment for her character when there isn't actually a positive here. This is full speculation mode now, but let's come up with an idea that could possibly happen and explain where it could go wrong and where I'm coming from with this. So, suppose she gives into her anger during the map and tries to hurt Requiem because of the director and his abuse. Well, that's not going to be a deserved vengeance moment of justice at all when you think about it for more than 3 seconds. If she were to seek revenge for that reason, that would be very bad for those she still cares about. It would have lasting character implications and would benefit from more exploration, which I just don't see happening with the sheer amount of other lore that needs to be covered. This is something Cold War has done before, where the outcome or greater effects of something have been closed out or ignored after the fact for the sake of simplicity. Mauer is where this occurred most prominently, as everything in that map was indeed very cool as a spectacle, but should have had more lasting effects in lore beyond what has been explained to us. As in, Berlin going up like it did should be lasting, and it seems to be hand-waved away due to how the story is structured. The format is a double-edged sword. You either get fully fleshed out lore, or some things have to be forgotten for time. And that is where my true feelings sort of lie on the subject. Samantha has always been a bit of a spectacle, and I do fully expect that to be the case for the last map, but I just hope that her story doesn't get oversimplified in the finale due to the other lore that needs to be covered here. That would be unfortunate. And that's about all I have to say for this video. I would love to see some discussion if anyone has anything they would like to say about what I've expressed here. There's never one way of looking at a story, and I welcome differing opinions on the matter. Who knows, maybe my worrying at the end of this video is going to be completely unjustified, and Forsaken is going to be really, really good. I'm actually quite hopeful for this, even though I had a whole thing of me worrying about it, so we'll just have to see. But yeah, that's about it. My voice is going to give out, so I'm just going to cut the video here.